The night the tomb was opened, the men inside could not breathe. Not because the air was bad, but because of what they were seeing. Gold. Everywhere. Golden beds. Golden statues. Golden chariots. Jewels shining like captured stars. The small room looked like it belonged to a god, not a human being. One of the men whispered, "This tomb has never been touched." For more than 3,000 years, no thief had entered. And at the center of it all lay the mummy of a young king. His name was Tutankhamun. But the strangest part of the story is not the treasure. The strangest part is the boy himself. Because the king inside that tomb had once been a fragile child who could barely walk without pain. Long before the tomb was found, in the burning deserts of ancient Egypt, a baby boy was born inside the great royal palace. His name was Tut. He was not like the other royal children. The boy was often sick. His body was weak, and his legs sometimes hurt when he walked. Palace servants whispered that the young prince might never become strong enough to rule. But in Egypt, kings were not just rulers. They were believed to be living gods. And when the old king died suddenly, something unbelievable happened. The tiny prince, only 9 years old, was placed on the throne. The kingdom now belonged to a child. The palace was filled with powerful adults who bowed to the boy king, but secretly made the decisions themselves. 2 men were always close to him. One was a wise old advisor named Ai. The other was the kingdom's strongest general, a soldier named Hormheb. They smiled and spoke kindly to the young king, but everyone in the palace knew the truth. The kingdom was in chaos. The previous king had angered the powerful priests of Egypt. Temples were closed. The old gods were abandoned. The people were confused and afraid. The young king had inherited a broken kingdom. But slowly, something surprising began to happen. The boy started to grow into his role. He listened carefully to his advisors. He reopened the temples. He brought back the worship of the old gods. The people began to believe their young king was restoring order to Egypt. They even changed his name. He was no longer just Tut. He became Tutankhamun, the living image of the god Ammonius. To the people, the sickly boy had become something greater. A king, even a god. But behind the golden throne, the young ruler was still fragile. Some days he walked with a staff to support his legs. Other days he rested in his chambers while doctors tried to ease his pain. Yet he still rode in chariots, hunted animals, and tried to prove he was strong like the kings before him. He married a young queen named Ankh. She was kind and loyal, and the two grew up together inside the palace walls. For a moment, it seemed like the young king might live a long life. But fate had other plans. One day, when Tutankhamun was only 18, the palace suddenly fell silent. The king was dead. No long illness. No warning. Just death. The entire kingdom was shocked. How could a young king die so suddenly? Whispers spread through the palace halls. Some said it was sickness. Some said a terrible accident. Others believed something darker. Poison, murder, or betrayal from someone close to the throne. But the truth disappeared with the young king. His body was prepared for burial with great care. Priests wrapped him in fine linen. They placed golden masks over his face and filled his tomb with treasures meant for the afterlife. Beds made of gold, chariots, weapons, jewels, everything a king might need in the world beyond death. Then the tomb was sealed, and slowly the world forgot him. Empires rose and fell. Cities turned to dust. Thousands of years passed, until one day, in 1922, a British archaeologist named Howard Carter made a discovery in the desert near Luxor. A hidden staircase, a sealed door, and behind that door, the untouched tomb of a forgotten boy king. When Carter looked inside, he saw something no archaeologist had ever seen before. A royal tomb that had never been robbed. The world exploded with excitement. Newspapers everywhere talked about the young king. Tutankhamun, the boy who became a god. The king who ruled Egypt for only a few years, but slept beneath the sand for 3,000 years. And even today, one question still haunts historians. How did the boy king really die? Was it illness? An accident? Or something far more dangerous inside the palace walls? The golden mask still stares silently from the past, and the mystery of the boy king may never truly be solved.